As President-elect Donald Trump prepares to officially take office as the 47th President of the United States on January 20, 2025, he is already making headlines with bold promises and ambitious plans. Central to his agenda is a commitment to tackle key issues that dominated his campaign, including immigration, tariffs, and foreign policy. Among his most notable declarations is a potential executive order aimed at saving TikTok from a looming ban in the U.S., a move that reflects both the platform's popularity and the complexities of the current political landscape. The ongoing controversy surrounding TikTok has been a contentious issue for American lawmakers, with concerns about data privacy and national security stemming from its Chinese ownership. As the deadline for a potential ban approaches, Trump's consideration of an executive order is a strategic move to appeal to the millions of users who rely on the platform. According to a source familiar with the situation, Trump is contemplating measures that could allow TikTok to continue its operations in the U.S. without being forced to sell or shut down. This initiative could signal a shift in tone regarding technology regulation, aiming to balance national security concerns with the economic and social implications of such a ban. In the same vein, Trump has been vocal about his plans for immigration reform, vowing to launch the most extensive deportation program in U.S. history. He has reiterated his long-standing commitment to mass deportations, stating, "On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history to get the criminals out." Given that the number of undocumented migrants living in the U.S. is estimated to be around 11 million, the implications of such a program could be profound both socially and economically. Critics warn that the costs associated with mass deportations could be substantial, and the potential impact on communities across the country could lead to significant upheaval. Trump's Day One agenda also includes a sweeping approach to tariffs, promising to impose a 25% tariff on imports from Mexico and Canada. He has characterized these tariffs as a necessary step to protect American jobs and manufacturing, a theme that resonates with his base. Economists, however, caution that such moves could lead to increased consumer prices, suggesting that the tariffs might act like a sales tax that ultimately burdens American families. Foreign policy is another area where Trump intends to make immediate changes. He has boldly claimed he can end the war in Ukraine within 24 hours, citing his relationships with both Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin as key leverage points. This assertion, though ambitious, raises questions about the feasibility of such rapid diplomatic resolutions. As Inauguration Day approaches, Trump's plans extend beyond policies to include significant cultural and social reforms. He has promised to limit participation in women's sports for transgender athletes and to revoke policies regarding gender-affirming care, positioning these moves as part of a broader conservative agenda that prioritizes traditional values. In the backdrop of these sweeping changes, Trump's inauguration will also be a moment of celebration, marked by a formal ceremony that includes musical performances and a parade. Notably, former President Barack Obama and other past leaders are expected to attend alongside tech giants and celebrities, highlighting the inauguration's significance beyond political circles. As Trump embarks on this new chapter, the implications of his ambitious agenda will be closely monitored both domestically and internationally. While his supporters eagerly await the fulfillment of his promises, critics remain wary of the potential ramifications of his policies. With a landscape as polarized as ever, the coming weeks will likely reveal the true impact of Trump's decisions as he navigates the complexities of governance in a divided nation. The future of TikTok immigration policy and U.S. foreign relations hangs in the balance, waiting to see how Trump's administration will shape the narrative. As President-elect Donald Trump prepares to take office for a second term, he has laid out an ambitious agenda that seeks dramatic shifts across various aspects of American policy, from immigration to economic strategies. Drawing from his campaign promises and public statements, Trump's proposed actions on his first day in office reflect a continuation of his previous administration's controversial policies along with new initiatives that could reshape the political landscape. One of the cornerstone elements of Trump's agenda is immigration reform. He has pledged to initiate what he describes as the largest deportation program in American history targeting undocumented migrants residing in the U.S., which according to federal estimates number nearly 11 million. In a rally shortly before the election, Trump stated on day one, "I will launch the largest deportation program in American history to get the criminals out." This aggressive stance on immigration aligns with his long-standing campaign rhetoric and aims to fulfill a promise that was a hallmark of his previous tenure. Additionally, Trump intends to end birthright citizenship, a right enshrined in the 14th Amendment. The logistical and legal challenges of such a move are significant, and Trump himself acknowledged the potential for conflicts over the policy. "Absolutely," he confirmed when asked about executing this plan on his first day. Turning to foreign policy, Trump has made bold claims regarding the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, asserting that he could resolve the war within 24 hours of taking office. "That is a war that's dying to be settled. I will get it settled before I even become president," he proclaimed during a debate. This promise, albeit ambitious, raises questions about the feasibility of such rapid diplomatic efforts. Economically, Trump has indicated he will impose a 25% tariff on imports from Mexico and Canada, framing it as a necessary step to protect American industry. Critics, including economists, warn that such tariffs could lead to increased consumer prices and could disrupt trade relationships with key partners. Trump's perspective, however, is that tariffs will bolster the U.S. economy by encouraging domestic production. Another contentious area of Trump's agenda involves social issues, particularly regarding transgender rights. He is committed to restricting transgender women from participating in women's sports and revoking federal support for gender-affirming care practices. "I will keep men out of women's sports 100% immediately first day," he asserted, indicating a strong intent to roll back advances in LGBTQ+ rights achieved under the Biden administration. Moreover, Trump has indicated his intention to pardon individuals convicted for their roles in the January 6 Capitol riot. This promise raises considerable debate about accountability and the implications of such pardons on the rule of law. "I'm looking first day," Trump stated about the pardons, hinting at a swift action that could further polarize the nation. As he prepares for his inauguration, Trump has also taken the opportunity to compile a blacklist of former officials he deems untrustworthy, citing individuals such as former Vice President Mike Pence and former White House staffers as examples. In a recent Truth Social post, he encouraged the public not to recommend candidates associated with these individuals, underscoring a desire to surround himself with loyalists rather than critics. The implications of Trump's first-day promises extend beyond immediate policy changes. They signal a broader ideological commitment to a vision of America that prioritizes strict immigration controls, protectionist economic measures, and a return to more conservative social policies. As the political climate remains fraught with division, the reception of these initiatives will likely evoke strong responses from both supporters and opponents. In conclusion, as Trump embarks on this new chapter, the country watches closely. His proposed actions could provoke significant legal challenges and social unrest, reflecting the deep divides that characterize American politics today. With his inauguration just days away, the forthcoming developments will undoubtedly shape not only his administration, but also the future of the Republican Party and the broader political landscape. In a climate of heightened political tension and uncertainty, former President Donald Trump is reportedly contemplating an executive order aimed at safeguarding TikTok from a potential ban or forced sale in the United States. This move comes in the wake of ongoing scrutiny over the popular social media platform, which has been at the center of national security concerns due to its Chinese ownership. TikTok's fate has implications not only for its millions of American users, but also for the broader landscape of tech regulation and international relations. As Trump navigates this contentious issue, he faces the dual challenge of addressing national security concerns while appeasing the platform's vast user base, many of whom are young voters who played a significant role in the recent election. According to sources close to the matter, Trump's potential executive order would aim to circumvent existing legislative hurdles that could lead to TikTok's ban. Reflecting his desire to maintain the platform's operations in the U.S., while also positioning himself as a defender of free speech and digital platforms. The former president's interest in TikTok is intertwined with his broader political strategy as he seeks to galvanize support from younger constituents who have embraced the platform for creative expression and social activism. Some analysts view Trump's engagement with TikTok as a calculated move to regain traction with a demographic that has often been skeptical of his leadership. By advocating for TikTok, Trump is not just protecting a platform, he is also vying for the loyalty of a generation that has significant sway in the political arena, noted a political analyst who requested anonymity. Meanwhile, in a parallel development, Trump's nominee for Attorney General Pam Bondi recently faced intense questioning during her confirmation hearing regarding her loyalty to the former president. Bondi assured senators that she would not politicize the Department of Justice, stating emphatically, "There will never be an enemies list within the Department of Justice." However, her responses were met with skepticism, particularly from Democratic senators who expressed concerns about the potential for political bias in federal prosecutions. Bondi's comments echo Trump's long-standing grievances about what he describes as a weaponized justice system against him and his allies. The scrutiny surrounding Bondi's nomination highlights the ongoing debates over the politicization of federal agencies, a topic that has gained prominence in discussions about the Biden administration's handling of investigations related to Trump. As Bondi prepares for a likely confirmation, her assurances of independence will be closely monitored, particularly in light of recent calls from Trump to investigate political adversaries. Additionally, Trump's Energy Secretary nominee is also facing questions regarding her past statements on climate change and her response to recent wildfires in Los Angeles. Critics are wary of the implications of her appointment on environmental policy at a time when climate issues are increasingly urgent. As these political dynamics unfold, the impact of Trump's decisions on TikTok and his administration's nominees will likely resonate beyond the immediate political landscape. The former president's maneuvering could set a precedent for how social media regulation is approached in the future and may further polarize an already divided electorate. Looking ahead, the interplay between technology, politics, and public sentiment will remain a pivotal area to watch as the implications of these developments continue to evolve. As Donald Trump prepares to step back into the White House, the economic landscape he is inheriting is markedly different from the one he left in January 2021. With a Republican majority in both houses of Congress and a more conservative Supreme Court, expectations for his second term are high among supporters. However, a significant portion of the public remains skeptical about his ability to effectively address pressing economic issues, including rising costs and inflation. This skepticism is reflected in recent polling, which shows that while a majority of Republicans hold a favorable view of Trump, many adults doubt his capacity to manage key policy areas. One of the most contentious aspects of Trump's economic strategy is his proposed tariff policy. Set to take effect shortly after his inauguration on January 20, 2025, these tariffs are designed to protect American industries by imposing hefty taxes on imports. Advocates argue that such measures will safeguard jobs and bolster the economy, aligning with Trump's "Make America Great Again" vision. Yet experts caution that the long-term impacts of these tariffs may be detrimental to consumers and the economy as a whole. During his first term, Trump implemented the America First agenda, introducing tariffs on a range of imports, including solar panels, washing machines, and various metals. These tariffs often resulted in sharp price increases for consumers, with washing machines seeing a 12% price hike post-implementation. While proponents of the tariffs claim they create jobs in protected sectors, such as manufacturing, the reality is that many of these jobs come at the expense of employment in other industries. In fact, the economic cost per job created was estimated at an astonishing $817,000, raising questions about the efficiency of such protectionist measures. The impact of tariffs extends beyond consumer goods to intermediate products crucial for many industries. For instance, the Minneapolis beaker company Misco faced a 25% increase in production costs due to tariffs on materials it relied on for manufacturing. This kind of disruption not only strains domestic producers, but can also lead businesses to relocate their operations abroad, negating the very job creation tariffs are intended to foster. As Misco's owner pointed out, the tariffs have made it difficult for American manufacturers to compete, resulting in many new products being produced overseas rather than in the U.S. Despite the economic consensus on the drawbacks of tariffs, political support for such policies remains strong, driven by concentrated benefits for specific industries and the asymmetric lobbying power of those industries. This dynamic often leads to a disconnect between economic theory and political action, as the costs of tariffs are dispersed among consumers, making them harder to perceive and organize against. As Trump embarks on his second presidency, the economic scene is characterized by lingering inflation and mixed consumer sentiment. Current data indicates that while real GDP growth has averaged around 3%, inflation remains a concern, with expectations for it to gradually decline towards the Federal Reserve's target of 2%. Yet economic forecasts reveal uncertainty, with risks of both stronger than expected growth and re-accelerated inflation. Public sentiment about Trump's economic management is mixed, with a slight majority of adults expressing doubt about his ability to handle key issues like healthcare and cost control. While many Republicans maintain strong confidence in Trump's capabilities, a significant proportion of the electorate is more cautious. In fact, less than half of respondents showed high confidence in his ability to lower costs or manage healthcare efficiently. As the Trump administration sets its sights on implementing new tariff policies and navigating a complex economic landscape, the implications for consumers and industries will be critical to monitor. The potential for increased costs and retaliatory measures from trade partners looms large, raising the specter of a trade war that could have far-reaching consequences. The interplay between Trump's protectionist measures and broader economic trends will be pivotal in shaping the U.S. economy over the next 4 years, particularly as the nation grapples with the balance between short-term political gains and long-term economic stability. In conclusion, as Trump prepares to implement his economic agenda, the tension between protectionist policies and their real-world impacts on consumers and industries will be a focal point of his presidency. The coming months will reveal whether the anticipated benefits of tariffs and other policies can indeed outweigh their significant economic costs. A question that will undoubtedly shape the narrative of his second term and the broader economic landscape of the United States. As the Biden administration transitions out of power, Jake Sullivan, President Biden's national security advisor, is setting the stage for the incoming Trump administration, sharing critical insights about the U.S. defense industrial base (DIB). In a recent roundtable at the White House, Sullivan emphasized the importance of rapidly integrating advanced technologies, particularly artificial intelligence (AI), into military systems and operations. His remarks, delivered to a select group of defense reporters, highlight the lessons learned during his tenure that he hopes will guide the new administration in bolstering national security and military readiness. Sullivan's tenure has been shaped by a series of significant global challenges, from the evacuation from Afghanistan to the ongoing conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East. He underscored that the DIB, which encompasses the entities providing materials, products, and services vital to national defense, is not only pivotal for U.S. military capabilities, but also for supporting international allies such as Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. "The cupboard was bare," Sullivan stated, reflecting on the state of the DIB at the onset of the Ukraine war, which spurred a renewed commitment to ramping up production and modernization efforts. A key focus for Sullivan has been the integration of AI across various sectors of the Pentagon, including logistics and supply chain management. He noted the necessity of a demand signal from the top to spur innovation and investment in the industrial base, arguing that the incoming Trump administration should prioritize this initiative without delay. "Take this momentum that we've begun to build up and really push," he urged, emphasizing the need for immediate action rather than waiting a year or two. Sullivan's insights extend to the Pentagon's ongoing initiatives such as the Replicator program, designed to expedite the delivery of advanced warfighting technologies, including thousands of drones, by August 2025. He expressed confidence that this momentum would carry into the new administration, despite uncertainty over how Trump's team would approach such initiatives. "You'd have to ask them, but I think that has a momentum of its own that can and should continue," he said. In parallel, the Defense Innovation Unit (DIU) has emerged as a critical player in the Pentagon's strategy to engage non-traditional vendors and facilitate the integration of innovative technologies. A recent report from the Defense Innovation Board recommended expanding DIU's role and budget to enhance its ability to support new companies navigating the complexities of defense contracting. This could significantly broaden the pool of firms contributing to national defense, which is crucial as the Pentagon seeks to counter emerging threats, particularly from China. As incoming Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth faces scrutiny regarding U.S. support for Ukraine, Sullivan's emphasis on sustained military aid and innovation becomes even more pertinent. Hegseth, during his confirmation hearing, acknowledged the importance of aiding Ukraine while also advocating for a resolution to the conflict. His views on military engagement reflect a broader debate within the incoming administration regarding the U.S. role on the global stage. Looking ahead, the Biden administration's insights into the defense industrial base could shape a more agile and responsive military strategy under Trump, provided that the new team heeds Sullivan's advice to leverage the momentum built during the past years. The anticipated focus on AI modernization and collaboration with non-traditional defense vendors will be pivotal as the U.S. navigates a complex global landscape characterized by rapid technological advancements and evolving geopolitical threats. As the new administration prepares to take office, the lessons learned from recent conflicts and the calls for innovation will undoubtedly play a crucial role in determining the future of U.S. defense policy and capabilities. The emphasis on bipartisan collaboration in defense initiatives may also signal a new approach to addressing the challenges that lie ahead, as both parties recognize the urgent need to adapt to a rapidly changing security environment. In an era where global politics and business intertwine more than ever, the landscape of cross-border mergers and acquisitions (M&A) is increasingly fraught with uncertainty. As the world prepares for Donald Trump's return to the presidency, dealmakers are expressing serious concerns that cross-border M&A could become a pawn in the game of international diplomacy, potentially influenced by the new administration's foreign policy priorities. According to industry insiders, Trump's administration may leverage the approval process for foreign acquisitions as a means to pressure other nations to align with U.S. interests, particularly in areas like defense spending. "Certainly we are preparing for this," remarked a European banker involved in mergers and acquisitions, emphasizing the administration's willingness to exploit governmental powers to achieve political goals. With Trump's history of using economic measures to influence allies such as threatening tariffs, the stakes for foreign companies seeking to invest in the U.S. market are higher than ever. The Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, CFIUS, the body responsible for reviewing foreign investments for national security risks, has already seen its role evolve into a politically charged arena. Under Trump's first term and continuing into Biden's administration, the CFIUS process has become less bureaucratic and more susceptible to political maneuvering. As one legal analyst described, CFIUS has wide discretion to do what they want as long as there is some national security nexus, a sentiment reflecting the potential for political motivations to overshadow impartial assessments. A notable case was the CFIUS review of Nippon Steel's proposed acquisition of U.S. Steel, which Bill Reinsch, chair in international business at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, described as overly politicized. He noted that Joe Biden's rejection of the deal marked a significant moment, as it was the first time a U.S. president intervened to block a transaction involving a non-Chinese company with no military ties. This precedent raises questions about how future deals will be evaluated, especially under Trump's administration, which may adopt a similarly interventionist stance. Trump's previous term was marked by high-profile interventions, including attempts to restrict the Chinese-owned social media platform TikTok and blocking Broadcom's $142 billion bid for Qualcomm based on CFIUS's recommendations. Legal experts foresee a more calculated approach this time, with Trump potentially utilizing various government levers beyond CFIUS, including antitrust agencies and the Federal Reserve, leading to an unpredictable environment for foreign investors. Beyond M&A, the implications of Trump's foreign policy extend into the realm of international relations, particularly regarding the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed hope that Trump could leverage his relationship with Russian President Vladimir Putin to negotiate an end to the war, although this raises concerns about potential concessions that Ukraine might be pressured into making. Amidst the backdrop of nearly 20% of Ukrainian territory under Russian occupation, the stakes are undeniably high. The diplomatic landscape will also be influenced by the incoming British ambassador to the U.S., who is advised to navigate the new era with caution. Tom Fletcher, a former senior foreign policy advisor, suggested that the UK should avoid appearing overly needy or reactive to Trump's demands. He stressed the importance of maintaining a balance between accommodating U.S. interests and protecting national priorities, especially in light of the transactional nature expected under Trump. As the new administration takes shape, the future of U.S. cyber diplomacy is also under scrutiny. Nathaniel Fick, the outgoing U.S. cyber ambassador, warned that a retreat from international engagement could allow authoritarian regimes like Russia and China to fill the void. He urged Trump's team to continue the diplomatic strategies established under Biden, particularly in promoting Western technology and cybersecurity norms to counter authoritarian alternatives. The convergence of geopolitics and international business creates a complex landscape for cross-border M&A and diplomacy. As the world watches how the Trump administration will navigate these issues, it's clear that the approach taken will not only shape the future of corporate investments, but also influence global alliances and security dynamics. The coming months will reveal whether Trump's administration will prioritize a transactional approach that could reshape international relations and economic interactions, or whether it will seek a more collaborative stance in a rapidly evolving global landscape.